so wonderful to be able to be joined by my friend, two-time Grammy Award winner, multi Na Hoku Hano nominee and award winner, and a true inspiration for so many people around the world, a cultural ambassador of Aloha, Mr. Kalani Pea. What an honor to see you here, looking so purplicious.
Cindy, so beautiful to all of us. Yes, she is.
I
God
love you.
bless.
I
I'm so
love
happy
your.
to be with you.
If people don't know you, you love purple. And if
I
they
don't know.
don't know
I
how
have no idea why. Like, people think I'm the Purple King.
you
I don't
are,
manage to be called the Purple Queen or the King. Come on. Oh,
where did the purple start from?
my gosh, as a young child, I loved all shades of purple. Lavender, plum. I call myself Purplicious Pea. Use my last name Purplicious Pea. I had Purplicious parties. I did with my childhood friends. You could ask them. I've had many purple parties. I just love purple. I think I like Barney. I may look like Barney. Maybe I think.
No.
I love you, you love me. So I just love purple, and everyone, I think Star Advertiser midweek coined me as the Purple King. So I guess I'm the Purple King, and as you can see, pink represents Maui, and I have purple back right here on my Christmas tree. And my family and friends know that I love purple so dang much.
You get gifts
I
from Japan and purple gifts
right,
everywhere. They give you purple toys, dolls, the cakes.
right.
It's
When
amazing.
I'm touring in Japan, they call it purple in Japanese. In Nihongo is murasaki. So I'll scream to the audience in a big arena, whatever concert I'm doing. I'll scream. I go murasaki ichiban, and that means purple rules. And they scream, and they actually have purple confetti in the audience, and the purple balloons for me. And my Murasaki fans, my purple fans, they're all dressed in purple with purple lei, and they know that purple calms me. I think what lavender just calms me, brings peace to me.
Hmm.
It's lavender oils especially, so that's why I love purple. I think that's part of it. Another thing is I've overheard Queen Kalani, our last queen, and King David Kalakaua. They also love different shades of purple, and their favorite color was purple too. People call it the color of royalty, but
It is. It is
I
the
don't
royal.
know.
Yeah, it's the
I
royal color, and it is the seventh ray magic is that color of magic is purple, and that's the highest of the energy fields. Is that and the third eye is ruled by violet
yeah,
ray.
but I can't find my third eye. It's
Right
so.
there.
Oh,
It's
I have a bald
right
spot. That's what I.
So you're living it. I have to also really go into your beautiful story of your life, because you have this ability to overcome challenges with your willpower and dedication and with love. I've seen that about you. Your willpower to overcome your challenges and music is your vehicle. You did this with yourself when you were young. You stuttered, and how old were you when you realized that this was an issue and music could help you?
My mom realized I couldn't say in full sentences at 2 years old, and so she put me through speech therapy, and I did not like the speech therapist at all. I don't think she was culturally developmentally appropriate for a 2 year old. She'd be like, she had this big eyeglasses. I remember her in this big mu'u, and she'd be like, Kalani, say this. And I'm like, oh gosh, you're strict. So my mom pulled me out of speech therapy. Um, there was the doctors diagnosed that I had a speech impediment and I couldn't and I'll catch myself often, but I had to overcome that by taking music classes, like learning how to play piano or learning how to play the guitar or learning about music theory and ear training at 4 years old. So 2 years later, my mom realized my speech improved over time, and I stopped stuttering because I mentally, in my conscious mind and self, I had to spiritually and emotionally reconnect myself as a child and tell myself, I am normal. It's okay to have some sort of disability as a child. And I think, I don't know if it was the medications that mothers were taking in the 80s, that a lot of these kids came out with speech impediments, and they're still investigating this over 30 years, but we can't assume that it was medicine. So I had to overcome personally and emotionally and spiritually, overcome this challenge by taking music. And my mom would put me in these suits and ties. And I would sing in the middle of the mall for talent shows or for charity walks. I've done a lot of singing for the American Cancer Association, and for pageants, I would serenade in these oversized suits, these suits that were so big that I looked like I literally looked horrible. But my mom pushed me. It was my mom, and my dad is a professional bass player who played with the Lim family in Mauna Kea Beach Hotel in the 70s. So I come from a musical background, but none of my family members did recordings. So I just sang with the family and learned music that way. Hawaiian contemporary soul music. My dad played the bass. My grandfather was a baritone opera singer. My auntie Momi played the piano. My auntie Beverly came from a choir. So my auntie Debbie played the saxophone and flute. So my family are musically inclined, but my mom was the one, you have that mother that I call it the pageant mom, yeah. The mom that pushes you to do what they kind of want you to do, but we have to individually, personally find that passion within. And I went to college to take music in the first 2 years, and I told myself, I can't make 40 grand a year teaching music in a Department of Education. So I changed my degrees into communication because of the speech problem. I felt if I majored in mass comm, I would be the best PR person for what? I don't know, Alamo, or maybe be the public relations specialist for Cindy Paulos on Maui, for KOI, for a radio station. I don't know. I knew I had a future ahead of me. I didn't know what it was until 5 years ago when I recorded my first album, and it took off from there.
As you were speaking, I could see actually how you did at that time when you were young and as you developed, made that somehow that interconnection to who you really are. You're such a powerful soul that you were able to connect with that and use that energy and channel it as you do through your music now and through when you perform. You are an amazing entertainer. Now, a lot of people who had stuttered, even like some of the kings, the royal family, there were a couple
Yes.
who stuttered. But and Joe Biden stuttered as well. But a lot of people who are fairly timid if they're going to be in front of a lot of people. But you step out on that stage and you just shine your love and your energy so fearlessly and so full of love. Is there a key that you find that just puts you in that place where you are able to go out and do these amazing things in front of so many people fearlessly?
I get nervous all the time, but what my mom taught me at 8 years old for my very first talent show, she says, if you get nervous, think about it, think about all the people in the audience and change their head, in your mind, ensure that you're singing in front of a cabbage field, a field full of cabbage heads, so that you don't even think that you're singing in front of people. Think of it that they're all little cabbages, placed in front of you. And I'm like, cabbage? Okay. All right. Okay, mom. But it helped me. So I had to, overcome my fear and overcome. For me, like I actually had, I was, I would have a high fever and be really, really sick entering in talent shows and then winning first place from it, or whatever, as a child. But I did it because I loved music, and music was part of me and who I am. And my family was part of molding, or part of that, my identity, and part of who I am, shaping my identity as a musician. So I basically grew up in this time where I had to do it because my grandfather sang it. My dad played music, and my mom loved music, and she was that pageant mom, and she wanted me to be who I am today. And am I happy? Of course. Like, was I confused? Yeah. I thought I wasn't ready to record music. But my other half, my husband, had created this memory of mine, back 5 years ago, when we were in a bar, here on Maui. He says, "You have to stop singing, 'Me and Mrs. Jones, we've got a thing going on,' in Hawaiian and English, for free." He was like, "You got to stop singing for free. You have to write your music. And you have this binder of all original music, Kalani. Why won't you record it?" And I didn't feel confident because I felt that I wasn't ready. I felt that no one would perhaps appreciate my craft until loved ones tell you it's okay to do it. Try. And the word try has been part of who I am. When I was a teacher, when I was 4 years old, saying, if you try, you can always see an outcome. And if you don't try, then you won't see any outcome. So the outcome of just trying has been positive so far.
Oh,
I got
very.
to yes, I got to meet people like you, City Paulos. I got to build relationships with people in the Recording Academy, the Hawaii Academy. I get to meet fans across the globe, sell out shows, not because of selling out shows, but because I get to share my message through my music.
Now, you have found and today as we're recording, it's your anniversary. Is it your third anniversary or your second anniversary today?
So it's my 1 year wedding anniversary, but we've been together for
But it's
12 years.
12 years. And it's so beautiful that you have found this love and each of you know each other so well and support each other. Were you at all nervous 12 years ago in thinking about, well, where does this fit in my life? And were you hesitant to let people know that you were in love with Alan?
I think it's easier for us millennials. My dad think us millennials are crazy. He goes, you guys complain a lot, but you guys get your work done, and you've seen the generational change and how we go through change effectiveness with innovation and the advent of technology. And through technology, I was able to meet Alan, and it was through MySpace where he reached out to me, and he was like, I think he was checking me out first. And we can admit that. Look, I'm gonna stutter. So as I'm thinking about all of this, he was the one that checked me out first. Cindy Palos. No, but we met in Kona, and he's a professional makeup artist, award-winning makeup artist who did makeup for many celebrities. And he went to New York Fashion Week and was the art director there for a fashion designer. So he has background in the fashion and industry, but once he got into the music industry, he had to learn with me how to build this incorporation, our Petal Records and entertainment company. We run everything on our own, all social media content, all digital marketing. Was it hard? It's a hard thing to do when you don't have a label backing you up, and we're all independent artists. There were moments that I wanted to kind of give up 4 years ago because it was very difficult to make a living in the music industry, especially in the Hawaiian music industry. Um, but I didn't give up because it was my family, friends, and fans, all the FFFs, right? Family, friends, and fans that keep me going, that keeps me driven and motivated to to be passionate about my music. It's the Hawaiian music. It's the intention, the poetry and the music that I use. I mean, I could sit right here and write a song about us talking story. Like I can write a song about talking story with Cindy right now. You and I can write. We're both composers, so it's what we feel like the elements of Maui versus um, the people that surrounds us here on Maui, or those people we love and the places we love here on Maui, allows us to create that melody and that arrangement, and then it becomes a song, and then it becomes a story, and then from the story we make that personal connection with people around the globe, and then when we make that personal connection, other people make other personal connections, and so our story continues on, and we build these bridges across the world. And that is the beauty of music. Music is healing and is medicine for me as a former child who stutters, and I will catch myself often, but I had to overcome that by writing music and singing, and it is still a challenge. Um, but when I look at you, Cindy Paulos, I can stop all the stuttering in the world. You're
I see your soul so beautifully, not only through that, but through your music. And you have an interesting, very sensitive side to yourself, as well as this very bold and a fearless side. So I see this amazing combination of sensitivity, which of course is where pure music and creativity, a lot of times people who are creative, such as you, are very sensitive souls. And at the same time, it's amazing to be expansive beyond belief. And it's an interesting balance. I mean, do you hide that sensitive side of yourself? Or do you just is it just for you and your husband, or you and a couple of friends, or what do you, because I've seen that sensitive side of you come out sometimes.
it, yes. I think it's easy. Again, it's easier for me to be an openly gay Hawaiian liberal man. I was raised to be outspoken. My father and mother are strong, God fearing people who I'm a third generation LDS, come from a Mormon family that loves me. Alan comes from an LDS family. They love him. They don't love us because of our fame and richness. They love us for being who we are. And so if we have that support system, we can continue being who we want to be. But if we don't have that support system, we know that there are other people who can support us and,
Mm,
and support our mission and our vision to be happy, happily married, to be good to people, to be kind to people, to be benevolent in our community and giving, and to be contributors to our society. That is what I was taught. So it
mm,
wasn't really difficult for me to be comfortable in my own skin. My parents allowed me and molded me to be comfortable, to be confident, modest, and good to people. My
mm,
grandparents always said, be good to people because people will be good to you. And that is that's my biggest mantra in life, is to be good to people so other people be good to me. So I love gift giving, or whether I love having quality time, spending time with you, having lunch in beautiful Wailea. That to me is a love language. That to me, that is my sensitive side. I am a human like everyone else. People think that I'm overly confident in what I do. People assume things, but I let people think the way they want to think until they get to know me, because they don't know my heart. They don't know who I am until they really get to sit and have a drink of coffee or have a English muffin with me. Um, they get to really truly get to know who I am, the authentic side of me, through my music and how I am and how I think of things. People assume once you're a Grammy winner or Hoku winner, oh, you act this certain way or you think you're better than people. But I think we're all going to face obstacles, and we're all going to face adversaries every time we do things that seems to be amazing or spectacular, right? People are going to try to bring you down no matter what. So on the sensitive side, yes, it'll hurt people. It'll hurt people because I'm just a human, and to overcome all of those challenges, we must surround ourselves with like-minded and valuable people that will lift your light and that will be part of your light. And that's part of my objective or goal, is to be surrounded by like-minded, valuable people.
And you are, and you carry that. I wanted to talk to you because I started the Peace Projects about after I got the UNESCO Peace Project Award. I actually, it was a Peace Award. And I
Congratulations,
thought,
Cindy Paulos.
what can I really do? I like to talk, and I like to do interviews. So I really respect your deep knowledge of Hawaiian culture. And I would like to ask, maluhia is the word of peace, isn't it, for in the Hawaiian language? And can you explain maluhia in your understanding in Hawaiian, what maluhia means to you?
What maluhia means to me is, when we dissect the word malu, hia is to be to over to see or to observe of something, but malu is a shade of protection. So if I'm in my mother's malu, if I stand in her shade, in her protection, I'm part of her protection. Malu means protected by something that will not harm you. And when you say maluhia, there's when you are protected by some object or subject or thing. To me, malu, I'm protected. I'm comfortable. I am at peace, maluhia. I am calm. I am collected, and I'm comfortable being in the presence of someone's shade who is basically protecting me, protecting my soul, protecting my body. So my parents are part of my maluhia. My grandparents are part of my maluhia. God is part of my maluhia. And I hope and bring peace. I hope that our music brings peace and unity and maluhia to the world during these trying and tough times. Music right now is what people need to hear. It's part of their maluhia. So that's what maluhia means to me.
That's a beautiful, beautiful description. And you know something, I was not aware of that definition. And it makes me really want to just sit and meditate on that protection. You know, I've been doing lots of talks on peace, and coming to terms with peace comes up often. How people even have inner negotiations with themselves about finding peace. You know, sometimes it includes forgiveness, but that when you say maluhia, it's all of a sudden it brings to my vision, my picture, myself of letting go to that protection, letting go to God or to your mother, or letting go to trust. So I'm seeing how maluhia, to your understanding in the Hawaiian culture, brings you this letting go in a way, and trust and faith, I guess, in that protection, right?
Absolutely. Maluhia, you have to, I don't know if you have to experience something so horrible to just be at peace at yourself. I mean, I think all of us have our, what I'm trying to elaborate on or exemplify on the word maluhia. We we often have our own personal trials and tribulations, and whether it's financial crisis or whether it's relationship issues or whether we're dealing with other personal issues, we all my grandmother would always say this. My paternal grandmother, Mary Ka'iave Pe'a, Manuia Pe'a, and she passed away 20 years ago. And she was a God-fearing woman of the matriarch of her family. She would say, Nani amai kai. There is beauty all around. Meaning, in this song, Nani Mai Kai, which I've recorded on my first album, to honor her, I would like to sing this part. Nani kala mai kai. She goes, today's beautiful, be grateful. Nani kala mai kai. Nani ka hui ana. Ma ke halavai. She would say, through all the trials and tribulations, through thunder, lightning, rain, sunshine, and the rainbow, there is beauty all around. There's gold beyond the rainbow. There's gold through thunders. There, you can find the pot of gold through the hurricane seasons, through the rain. When people say, "Oh, it's ugly day today," she would always say, "Every element that you face, there's beauty all around." We should be grateful to be living in this time and space because it's life. And when the tides move, when the ocean currents change, we move with the ocean movement and the tide changes because that's part of who we are as people. We have to move when the current moves. We have to shift when the earth shifts. When there's earthquakes, we move with Pele. We move with the Aina. And my grandmother would always say, be grateful what you have because there's beauty all around. Nani amaikai.
I have learned another beautiful, beautiful concept from this because there really is this oneness. And again, your focus when you see the beauty all around, you are lifted and aware of that beautiful energy, which takes you out of the storm. It takes you out of the conflict. It puts you in that presence of beauty. And that presence is there in the aloha you feel, isn't it? There's a presence in aloha. There's a living presence in the word, even with the energy that you convey in your aloha, isn't there?
Correct? Aloha, and as we identify ha, the HA kahako, which is also separate from the word aloha, because alo is uh, being connected to someone close to you. Alo ahe alo, you're facing head to head with someone and building connection. And the ha is the breath of life. So when we are evidently walking through Iao Valley or on the top of the Vauakua of Haleakala and observing the beauty of that area, we are breathing in the life of our ancestors and forefathers and those who have came before us. And we appreciate that time and space. We are breathing in that moment, and we are acknowledging the fact that we come from a place of beauty and resonance and love and aloha, and our cultural upbringing and our Hawaiian cultural values and practices are instilled in each and every one of us here on Maui and throughout Hawaii and throughout the world. And when people come to our Aina, they want to be they want to dive into our cultural upbringing, right? They want to see the mele, the hula. They want to see what we eat and how we interact. They want to hear the pigeon from they want to hear that accent that comes from all of us. They want to drink what we drink because I call Hawaii, we're the heart of the world. We live, I call it the Pico. We live in the umbilical cord of the world. People come to Hawaii to explore Hawaii and to embrace aloha because they see of the love that we share through our land, through our cultural values, our cultural resources, and they embrace that. And they take that experience and try their best to share it with their people in their community. It may not be the same experience of what they got here in Hawaii, but that's always, when I gave a lei of love, a lei signifies love, or accomplishment, right? Or there's so much more meaning when you give someone an offering of a lei. When I gave tuberose lei to some of the Grammy Award winning friends and some of our Grammy nominees for my first Grammy nominated and winning album, Evalea, that's the only thing they remember is Kalani Pe'a's music is beautiful, but what's embedded in my memory is the lei of love that he placed upon me, and the fragrance of that flower takes me back to the certain time period where I traveled to Hawaii. So when we breathe all of this, right, within the fragrance of the flowers, when we feel the stream in EL Valley, when we touch the shoreline of Kama'ole, we make that personal connection. And it's a spiritual connection that would not break us at all. That spiritual connection creates a bond between you and that element. And that to me is beyond the word aloha. That to me is Hawaii. It's
Mm,
who we are.
mm.
That
So
is
well
Hawaii.
put. So beautiful. Such a beautiful way of expressing it. I have to thank you because you not only do this, but I know a lot of people. I know a lot of musicians and other peoples and writers.
You're famous, Cindy Paulo. You
I
are
do,
famous.
but because I want to thank you for your professionalism. You have an amazing commitment to showing up and looking your best and being ready and and being present and something in you. Again, and maybe it goes back to your roots and your parents and grandparents, but you have this amazing ability to put on the best show you can put on, to look as good as you can look, to give all you can give. And I have to bow to you for that, because that I recognize that's not an easy thing. And your
It's not.
very busy schedule, and you still always are committed to what you're doing 100%. And I recognize that. And I can't really thank you enough, because your reaches are so beautiful and you impact so many people in such a positive way. And I just want to say mahalo, and
Maha.
to you and to your beloved ones and your family and all those who support you, because you are giving back 100% back everything that you have gained back to others to share what you've gotten. So, and that's one of the highest practices. So a big, big, big thank you to you, my friend.
You too. And you, when you write your books too, and your music, you bring Maluhia into our hearts. And I think we need more of that, especially during these times of indifferences or times of difficulties and challenges that we're facing. I think our music and our words and our passion gives hope and peace, Maluhia, to the world. And like my grandmother would always say, Nania mai kai, there's beauty all around. Mahalo, my friend.
Mahalo. And I'm going to go take a walk and EL and think of that.
I love you.
I love you
So
too.
wonderful. Cindy Paulos. Yeehaw.
And before I close, I just want to remind people, not only you're very present on Facebook, but should I go to your website? You have all your available information on your website, correct?
Yes, kalanipeamusic.com. And my new album should be released on my birthday, April 2021. And I'm working on my Christmas album, as well as I'm part of this new subscription of Kahilu TV. Support our Hawaii theaters. They bring us the entertainers to their performing arts center. So please support Kahilu Theater and Hawaii Theater. Support our local theaters. They need our help during these times.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. And God bless you always.
We love you,
Love
Cindy
you
Paulos
too.
and
I
KO.
love
We
you.
love you. Happy holidays, my friend.
Thank
I love you
you.
so much.
Aloha.